Hello and welcome to Analyzing Derby Pedigrees 2025-2026. I posted videos like this before and they got varying results in terms of view counts. We're going to try it again. I'm going to talk about Ted Noffey. I'm going to go through my process of handicapping Pedigree. And I'm going to go through it slowly because I know everyone does it a different way. There's not one right way to analyze Pedigree. The majority of people, I think, just look at the sire or the sire and dam sire. I look at the entire family. And if you ever follow me on Twitter, I do focus on the female side a lot. But that's because no one ever does. No one ever talks about the dam line, the female family. They all just talk about the sire or the dam sire. And I just like to look at the entire family, the dam, the siblings. If I don't get an immediate picture from the sire, dam, and siblings, then I can go back a few generations, look at the dam line, see if I recognize any familiar names, and just make a judgment call on what the horse wants based on the entire family. But again, if I can see it from the immediate family, then I'll just go with that. But if not, I'll go look at the entire family and I'll see what the horse wants, whether it's dirt or turf or sprinting or routing. Let's discuss Ted Noffey and I'll go through the entire process. Now, when Into Mischief first started out as a sire, I think it's safe to say most people thought he was a sprinter miler sire and that he couldn't sire a horse that wanted to go to classic distance. And I think over time that changed. And we can take a look at Into Mischief's Equibase profile quickly. We can take a look at his 2025 leading money earners. You see Sovereignty at the top. Sovereignty obviously won the Kentucky Derby, the Belmont Stakes, the Travers Stakes, and all those races were a mile and one fourth. Even the Belmont Stakes. So, where I see some red flags in Ted Noffey's pedigrees, maybe with names like Old Fashioned and Elusive Quality, I associate those names with sprinting. But again, Elusive Quality did sire a Kentucky Derby winner. It just depends on who he's paired with. And I think we can go to the dam line. Let's take a look at the dam first. Streak of Luck. Streak of Luck was a turf runner, if I remember right. And we can take a look at her Equibase page really quick. Here we have her Equibase page. And we're going to take a look at some of these results. Now, the reason I do this is just to get an idea of what kind of distances that Streak of Luck enjoyed in her career. And I could take a look at the wins. She won the Lady Canterbury Stakes, and that was a 1 mile race. And maybe we'll take a look at one more. Maybe this allowance race right here. I look at the wins because if they had success in those races, then that's the race. That's the type of race that the horse wanted. 1 mile on the turf again. Okay, I'm gonna call Streak of Luck probably a turf miler. We could take a look at one more race. Maybe this allowance optional claimer. And that's another 1 mile race on the turf. So that's what she wanted. It means she wanted to route at least. Now, did Streak of Luck have any progeny besides Ted Noffey? That's a good question. And yeah, she had fully authorized, but he didn't work out. He only earned 65,000, so I'm not even going to look at his Equibase page because I don't know. I don't think you can gain any information from horses that weren't that successful. Now let's go back here. I want to look at the horses in the dam line and see what their progeny were. Who was Streak of Luck a sibling to? Let's take a look at Valeria. We can right click. How am I doing this? I'm right clicking on Valeria, and then I'm clicking on progeny. And you see here Streak of Luck. And she was a sibling to Flying Business. I've never heard of her. I've never heard of these other names. Streak of Luck was the most successful horse coming out of Valeria. What about Lindsay Jean? Lindsay Jean, what kind of dam was she? And she had no successful horses. Well, Lamazone earned 83,000. Other than that, not really that successful as a broodmare. Let's go way back to Colony Bay. Colony Bay, what did she produce? Oh, here we go. A couple of six-figure earners. We have Honor Colony at 209K, and we have Lindsay Jean at 388K. So Lindsay Jean was the most successful progeny from Colony Bay. We have Lindsay Jean up here, 388, as I said. So she earned a lot of money in her career, but what kind of races did she like? Let's click on this. The Autumn Leaves Handicap Bay Meadows, which is a former racetrack in the Bay Area. That's a 1 mile turf race again. Let's look at the Miss America Handicap at Bay Meadows. Okay, a mile and 1/16th. And why not look at the Palo Alto Handicap at Bay Meadows, of course. A mile and 1/16th. I just want to look at one more. Moment to Buy Handicap. A mile 1/16th on dirt. Okay, so this was a router too. It looks like she won up to a mile 1/16th. Maybe more. I just didn't look at every single race. But I would say her typical type of race, Lindsay Jean, was a mile 1/16th on turf. And I would say Ted Noffey, if I were to look just at his pedigree and not look at the way he runs, not look at his record, I would guess off those names after looking up the dam line and everything that maybe this is a horse that will go up to 9 furlongs. It's not a perfect science. At the end of the day, the horse's record is what counts. But if I were to look at his names, Streak of Luck, Lindsay Jean, and Into Mischief, Old Fashioned, Elusive Quality, I would say maybe this horse wants to go up to 9 furlongs. St. Bellata was a dirt router. I think he won up to 9 furlongs. I have him up here, I think. He won up to 9 furlongs. Here we go. He won races like the Arlington Classic, Sheridan Stage. We can take a look at the Arlington Classic. That was 9 furlongs. And so again, I think Ted Noffey, based on pedigree, should have no problems up to 9 furlongs. Does he want to go to classic distance of 10 furlongs in a Kentucky Derby? There are some questions there. Some horses outrun their pedigree. Some horses are so talented that it doesn't matter. I would seriously take a look at his races and make a judgment call because there are some questions in his pedigree past 9 furlongs. Back at Ted Noffey's Equibase page, the last thing I want to do is take a look at the Breeders' Cup Juvenile because, again, what matters the most is what the horse does on the track, and sometimes you can get visual clues on what the horse wants, whether it's more distance, less distance. I know this gets away from the pedigree aspect of pedigree analysis, but I think it matters if you're trying to figure out how far a horse wants to go. It matters what he looks like visually. So you see Ted Noffey's on the lead, Brandt's on the inside, Mr. AP's coming at him. I didn't like this race at first because I don't like it when all the horses finish together. And Ted Noffey was all out to win this race. That was my concern. I don't think there's a gallop out in this clip. I couldn't figure out anything from that clip, but it worries me that he was all out to beat Mr. AP. I think Ted Noffey will be fine in the final round of Derby Preps, but I just question whether he wants to go to classic distance. You have Into Mischief. You have a couple of turf milers in his dam line. You have names like Old Fashioned and what was the other name? Elusive Quality. And I know St. Bellata was a router, but there's a lot of miler influence here, sprinter miler influence. And I don't know. I don't know if he wants to go past 9 furlongs. If I was going to give a grade for his potential to go 10 furlongs, maybe a B- or a C+. Again, I know Into Mischief can get a 10 furlong winner. We've seen it this year. It all depends on who he's paired with. Streak of Luck. Is Streak of Luck the right one to be paired with? I have some minor questions there, but again, maybe a C+. Again, I know there's different ways to handicap pedigree, and I know some people look at all these numbers underneath where it says family summary, and I don't. I don't know what any of those numbers mean. And I know people are going to listen to that and think, oh my god, this guy knows nothing about pedigree. I just think you don't need to know. I think you can just look at the entire family and make a judgment call. Just use your own mind to look at all these names and consider whether or not the horse wants to go the distance. I don't think you need to know what these numbers, these categories mean at the bottom. And I know some people still use the dosage system. Um, if that's if that's what you use and it works, well then I guess that's another method too. I have some serious doubts about the dosage system. Well, the thing is about dosage, it relies on who the what do you call it? The chef, the race sire. It relies on certain sires, and if your horse that you're analyzing doesn't have that special sire, then it could completely change the numbers on that horse. And who decides who the special sires are? I think they're called the chef, the race sires. I could be wrong. There's a person that decides it, so I don't know. It's very opinionated rather than scientific, in my opinion. That's why I don't trust dosage. But anyways, there are different ways to handicap pedigree. There are different ways to look at this. This is how I do it, and I've been doing this for a long time, so I don't think this is wrong, but I know there are other methods. And I know someone out there is still gonna say, "Oh no, you're doing this way wrong. You've got this all wrong," and that's fine. At the end of the day, it's just handicapping, and we're all just playing a dumb game. So 10 Noffey, 9 furlongs might be fine. His potential to go 10 furlongs. There are some questions here, but maybe he could overcome it. Thanks for watching my Derby Trail Analysis Pedigree video, and I'll be back soon. And we'll see how these numbers play out. If you like this video, tell me, and I'll potentially make more.